When faced with the decision of needing assistance with the best senior care option for a loved one, would you prefer a cold, impersonal phone call or a warm, in-person meeting? For our 30th episode, we are celebrating CarePatrol's 30th year of supporting older adults and their family members navigate senior care solutions. Also, we're celebrating reaching 30,000 downloads of the My Care Advisors podcast. Hello, everyone. This is Cheryl Musial, and welcome to My Care Advisors. In this episode, 3 decades of family caregiving support, we are joined by CarePatrol's brand president, Becky Bongiovanni, and Vice President of Operations, Colleen Sieber. Well, welcome, Becky and Colleen. Thank you so much for joining us today.
I'm happy to be here. How about you, Becky?
Thanks for having us, Cheryl. This is really exciting to celebrate our 30th anniversary.
Well, I know not only is this the 30th episode of My Care Advisors, but as you just mentioned, it's the 30th year in business. So with that being said, please share with our listeners just a little bit of the history about the company and the services you provide.
Well, I'd love to. So, CarePatrol started back in the early 1990s. My husband was a medical social worker, and he realized that families need a lot of help and guidance when looking for care from just helping families. And one of the things we noticed, there were some companies that provided a service to help people find the care they were looking for, but really their main focus was on helping the communities fill their beds, but there wasn't really a strong advocacy type of advisory service to really help the person who is looking to find care. So we saw that as a really great opportunity. That's really how we built CarePatrol, was to really, our primary focus is helping potential residents and their families really guide them through the process and the journey and making it a real value for the end user.
You're absolutely right about obtaining that quality information in order to make informed decisions. With the right resources, it really sounds like you've been able to help make a big difference for older adults and their caregivers when navigating all of these care options. So I was wondering, how has that approach evolved over the time that you've had CarePatrol over the 30 years? And how has it really helped to make it a less stressful and easier way to help find those senior care choices?
Great question. Well, believe it or not, the core services we offered years ago really are still the core services we offer today. And the main reason why is because of the value that it does bring. I mean, this is a very stressful time for families. I've had people say it's daunting, overwhelming. It feels like an impossible task. And so it really is a value to our clients that we conduct a thorough discovery of the care needs. We want to understand not just what that person needs, but also what they want, what their goals are, what are some of their personal preferences. And we have evolved to meet with people virtually if they cannot meet in person, although we do prefer to meet with you in person because we believe that really helps us understand your needs even better. And we offer guided tours of communities. And if you can't be there to tour, we have videos for you to see them. And we provide transparency around details and pricing. And we offer moving day transition support. And we stay in touch even after the move-in. We have regular check-ins to make sure that our clients are receiving that continued support. And all of these services that we provide are at no charge to families because we are compensated by the thousands of providers in our network. So our core services haven't changed, but as a business, we do continue to grow and evolve to meet the needs of our growing brand. And I will say, some of the things that we've seen change in CarePatrol is the look of our brand. A little over a year ago, we completed a brand refresh. CarePatrol has a new modern look and feel that really brings our brand into focus and really resonates in a more meaningful way with those, the clients and their families and all the other people that we interact with. We also recently, with that refresh, launched a podcast that we're on right now, right? My Care Advisors, where we host a variety of experts on topics such as healthcare concerns, financial planning, care options, and much more. So This has really proven to provide much needed education because families many times feel overwhelmed. Society doesn't prepare us for aging. And really, we want to continue to provide education and resources to really help prepare families for the changing needs in the lives of their loved ones and in their own future care needs. We've also partnered with the Alzheimer's Association for the past 3 years. I'm really proud of that. We help raise funds and awareness for more than 6 million Americans that are living with Alzheimer's disease, and will continue to do so.
I also understand that CarePatrol was one of the pioneering organizations to encourage its local senior advisors to earn that certified senior advisor credential. And of course, other important certifications. And I understand including certified dementia care professionals, certified placement referral specialists. So how have you seen the role of these professionals also evolve over CarePatrol's history?
Well, we believe our advisors should really be subject matter experts on the aging journey. So over the years, the role we play has evolved to meet the changing needs and preferences of aging adults and their family. There's been a lot of advancement with research and best practices in senior care, and we stay on top of those changes. Our care advisors are really required to keep up with the latest information and specialized knowledge. Certifications such as this certified senior advisor and the certified dementia practitioner and the others that are out there. Some of our locations are also gerontologists, and there's also an array of other certifications. But these certifications help us validate our expertise and really demonstrate our commitment to our ongoing professional development, because the world is constantly changing. So we're really mindful also of facilitating smooth care transitions between different care settings. And it's not something that people think about all the time, but if you're in the hospital and then you go to a skilled nursing rehab for some physical therapy, and then you need to move to a care community, that's a lot of transitions, and it's a lot of communicating with different groups of people. And the one person we don't want to get lost in the shuffle is the care recipient, right? The one who needs the care. So we really take a collaborative approach with healthcare providers to create a holistic support system for the families that we serve. And we feel like the multidisciplinary approach really helps address the complex needs that many adults face.
So, Colleen, I want to bring you in here to this podcast as well. And on the topic of this whole journey of aging, and just to go back to what Becky was saying about these professionals that have been able to be aligned to really support older adults and their caregivers, I was wondering, how do CarePatrol's local senior advisors help to support that older adult and their caregiver on this amazing aging journey?
Yeah, that's a great question, Cheryl. So CarePatrol's local senior care advisors play a crucial role in helping older adults navigate senior care options. And I'd be happy to provide you with a couple examples of that. So one of the things that we do is we provide that personalized discovery of needs. So our senior care advisors meet with our older adults and their families to conduct a personalized assessment. They take the time to understand the unique needs, preferences, and the challenges of the individual. And this assessment then helps in determining the level of care that's required and the specific services that are needed. Of course, Becky was mentioning the expert knowledge, right? So CarePatrol's senior care advisors possess extensive knowledge about their senior care options in their local communities. That's something we really pride ourselves on. So they stay up to date on various senior living providers, including assisted living communities, memory care, nursing homes, and independent living communities. So we have insights into the quality of care, the amenities, the costs, and other relevant details of these options. Something else that we do is we have customized recommendations. So based on the assessment and their expertise, senior care advisors provide customized recommendations. They present a selection of suitable senior care options that align with the individual's needs and preferences. And these recommendations are tailored to factors like location, level of care required, budget, and any specific medical conditions. Of course, you heard Becky talk about the tour, right? So we community tour and support. Our advisors schedule and accompany older adults and their families on tours of the recommended senior care facilities that we operate at. So they help to facilitate these visits, providing guidance, answering questions, and ensuring that all concerns are addressed. And by visiting these communities, individuals can get a firsthand experience and really help make informed decisions. Of course, we have advocacy and support. So CarePatrol's senior care advisors act as advocates for our older adults and their families throughout the entire process. They offer support, guidance, and reassurance during what can often be an overwhelming and emotionally challenging time. The advisors are there to help answer questions, address concerns, and provide valuable insights to help individuals make the best decisions for their loved ones. And finally, continuous care monitoring. CarePatrol's involvement doesn't end once the senior care community is chosen. Senior care advisors maintain contact and provide ongoing care monitoring, right? So we check in with our older adults and their families to ensure the chosen care option is meeting their expectations and their needs. And if necessary, they can help facilitate any necessary changes and transition into a better option if there are concerns that have arisen.
Well, Colleen, these sound like really great ways that you are able to assist older adults. And it also sounds like a very customized approach, not only to identify those care options, but I really love the follow-up because it sounds like it's a really clear focus on the individual. So, Becky, thinking of that, can you please share some additional considerations for selecting professionals who can help support older adults and their caregivers navigate senior care options?
Yeah. When selecting professionals to support older adults and navigating their senior care options, there's several things to keep in mind. First would be you want to look for experience and expertise. So look for professionals who have had specialized training. They have a deep understanding of the aging process, common health conditions. They are extremely knowledgeable of all types of options and resources available to older adults. And that they've got some, qualifications. They've received certifications or have professional affiliations. Second is, do they conduct a comprehensive interview? So it's not just about, finding what you're looking for and giving you a long list of options. It's really about taking the time to know you and what your specific needs are, what your physical needs are, your social needs, what your personal preferences are and your goals, and taking a holistic approach to what you need. Thirdly is, how knowledgeable are they of local resources? How long have they been working in that area? How many providers do they work with? Do they just have 3 or do they have thousands that they work with, or hundreds, right, in that local area? And they should really be connected with all of the local resources for you. So there's lots of community-based services that are available, and really so that they can give you some accurate information. And, we think about having a great bedside manner, so to speak. How well are they at communication and empathy? I think effective communication is important in any business. And it's really essential to that you're working with somebody who is effective with communicating the path to you and understanding and listening to your needs as well. And, remember, this is your journey. And so whoever is helping you should be taking that approach. It's not what they want for you, it's what you want for you. And sometimes maybe what you want may not be realistic or may not be attainable, but they should be able to communicate that in a respectful way. So it's important to have people that want to partner with you to help you achieve your goals and values. Those are just a few tips of what to look for.
Well, thank you, Becky, for sharing this insight and all of these amazing considerations. I was wondering also, you mentioned earlier about having a collaborative approach and any other considerations. Just wanted either Becky or Colleen, if you want to weigh in on that.
Yeah. So, when it comes to a collaborative approach, you really should seek professionals who adopt a collaborative approach. They involve you. They don't just tell you what to do. So, you really need to be working with someone who respects your preferences, your values, your goals, really encouraging your active participation. It's really about empowering you to make the best decision that you can. And you also want to look for continuity of care. There are professionals who can provide ongoing support and follow-up services. If people are just interested in the front end of the transaction and not really seeing it all the way through, you should probably question that. Your needs are going to evolve over time, and this is something you should find someone who wants to go the journey with you. And cost and financial considerations, that's important to everyone. And you should be able to work with somebody who can discuss those fees and billing structures upfront and with transparency to you. Knowing what the cost is beforehand is going to help you a lot with making some of those long-term decisions that you need to make. And there are many programs out there that, whether they're federal or local, that can help pay for care. And so the person that you work with should be able to help guide you to those programs that you might be eligible for. And I would say when it comes to collaboration, I think it's important that the person you work with is part of a bigger network because, I think we're all limited in some aspect of what we can do. But the real key to being able to give and support an individual in their journey is helping them with resources and knowing who to refer them to when it's outside of your scope. And so you want to be able to work with somebody who really has a strong professional network, and maybe they can't help you with certain things, but they could recommend you to a nurse or a social worker or a physician or therapists or health aides. So look for someone who's well connected. So I would just say, final thoughts on this is do your research, read reviews and testimonials. I'll put a plug in for CarePatrol. We have a really high net promoter score. Families enjoy working with us. And I think, the proof is in the pudding. If people are having good results and they're satisfied, that's a good place to start.
It absolutely sounds like there's so many considerations, and it really underscores the importance of having that trusted local senior advisor right by your side as you're helping to navigate all of these care decisions. So, Colleen, I understand that continuous improvement is a core focus of CarePatrol. Can you give our listeners an insider's behind-the-scenes view of the systems, tools, and all that continuous process improvement and people improvements that you continually make that really supports all those local senior care advisors and older adults that they serve?
Absolutely, Cheryl. So our job on the franchise support team is to provide and evolve tools and resources to help our senior care advisors run faster and support those that they're supporting in their crisis management situations as fast as possible. So we continuously look at the tools and resources we have. One of our main systems that our senior care advisors use is Calculated Care, which is our proprietary operating system. It really facilitates the entire placement process with our clients. We are always looking at improving and refining our onboarding, training, and ongoing training opportunities for our franchisees and their staff members, and our internal team as well. We also look at, advancements in certifications and education. So really expanding the required certifications that we're looking at to allow us to maintain that expertise level of recognition. We have an internal intranet that our advisors have instant access to, so that all the tools and resources that they need, whether it's presentations or agreements, are right there at their fingertips. And of course, the client newsletters that we provide, where we're ensuring that there's education and information that goes out to, all stakeholders, all key stakeholders that we work with. And I would just love to give a shout out to the support team here, because they are very, very passionate about helping the franchisees and their senior care advisors on their team just be better at what they're doing, which is really supporting those older adults and their families on a local level.
Oh my goodness. So it sounds like there are so many resources that you have been able to have the backs of the franchisees and those local senior advisors so they can even serve better. So that's amazing. Thank you, Colleen, for sharing those insights. So Becky, these continuous improvements are such a tremendous investment, I'm sure, throughout the entire CarePatrol system. So in addition, since we're celebrating your 30th podcast episode, My Care Advisors episode, what have been some of the driving forces behind providing this educationally focused content, especially when it's geared toward older adults and their caregivers?
Well, I'll tell you, it's several things. First and foremost is really empowering older adults and their family members. We really want to make sure that people understand there's so much that people don't understand and they're not prepared for. It's something we come in contact with every day. So, our vision is really to be the most trusted source in senior care solutions. And that means we need to provide education. We need to help people, with the knowledge that they need to maintain their independence and well-being. I can't tell you how many times people say, gosh, if I only knew this, what I could have done. And there's a lot we can do to prevent becoming needy. And we can be in charge of controlling our own destinies as we age. And I think that's very empowering. And I think the more that we take control and work on our own health and make choices that create the future we want, what more can you ask for there, right? That's the dream. So that's first and foremost. We also really want to promote health and disease prevention, right? Which goes right along with empowering. What I love about these podcasts is we've given a lot of information, and we will continue to do so, about how to have a healthy lifestyle, how to prevent disease or delay disease process in your body, how proper nutrition, medication management, and hydration, those three simple things can be life-changing for people. So there's a lot we'll continue to share on that. And we also really want to help enhance the support that we can provide to caregivers. There are millions of caregivers out there, and many of the caregivers that we know are family caregivers. And it's a very lonely place to be sometimes because you didn't choose to be a caregiver in many situations. It kind of fell in your lap, and it's a difficult job. So we want to help lift you up and give you some support and resources and some hope, and know that you're not alone. And you may not know what to do, but we can help point you in the right direction, and we can be a support and a resource for you. And I think one other thing that is big for us is really understanding what elder abuse is, what ageism is, and understanding that older adults are many times victims to exploitation and abuse. And so we want to help people learn how to avoid becoming a victim of financial exploitation, neglect, mistreatment. And we'd like to raise awareness and education with older adults and their caregivers of how to avoid these risks. So I think, this would be probably the main reasons why we started this. There's probably a lot more, but it really gets me excited when I think about it. I think this is such a huge opportunity for us, and we're happy to provide those solutions.
As we near the end of this episode, I was wondering if you could just pull out your crystal ball and share any additional thoughts about what you envision the future for senior care options and the support that's needed to help navigate the complexities of care.
Well, these are very exciting times as we see the baby boomers who've really shaped our world as they've grown and now entering their senior years. I think we're going to see some more innovations down the road around that. I think what we can expect is to see a lot more age in place options and offerings that are really going to help people do that in their home effectively. So we've already seen a lot of home health come in and provide some assistance in the home, but we're going to see more telehealth. We're going to see more assistive technologies and probably more community-based programs arise because the need is there. Assistance will be needed to help seniors and their families navigate these resources and make informed decisions. So we'll be here to help along the way on that journey. We're going to see more technology, a lot more remote patient monitoring. I don't think it's ever going to replace caregivers, but I do think caregivers are going to need the assistance of technology to be more efficient. and it's going to help us really provide better care. So there's already things out there like wearable sensors and artificial intelligence, and these are sort of in the baby phase. So over the next 10, 20, 30 years, we're going to really start to see the sensors and the artificial intelligence get even more better, right? And really be able to track health conditions and detect emergencies in a much more efficient way. So I also think we're also going to need to provide more help to aging adults who may require assistance in adopting some of these technologies. Even though we've seen a lot of people adjust over the past 3 years, we'll probably still see the need to help people adjust to those.
Well, thank you so much for sharing your insights on not only where you've been, where you are today, but also where you're going in the future and what you envision. And Colleen, any final thoughts?
Yeah. So I imagine we'll see senior care move more towards integrated care models that provide a holistic approach to managing the physical, mental, and social well-being of older adults. I also hope to see an evolution in caregiver support. Right? We must recognize the vital role caregivers play in supporting older adults and be able to provide comprehensive support and resources for those caregivers to really help combat caregiver burnout and stress that's so prevalent in our industry. What about age-friendly communities that will provide active aging and social connectivity in a very fun and trendy environment, right? Could even be the cornerstone of the next generation's TikTok environment. Who knows? Really, with all these cool ideals and technologies and support systems comes the financial side of aging. So I anticipate a greater emphasis on financial planning and long-term care insurance, encouraging individuals to really plan and save for their future care needs, right? We don't sit around at 40 and 50 years old drinking wine with our friends talking about how much money we're saving as much as we should on those golden years. So really to help alleviate that financial burden on themselves and their families, I anticipate a little bit more focus on that in the coming years.
Well, thank you, Colleen. And Becky, throwing it back to you, any final closing thoughts that you'd like to share?
Well, I'm just really proud that we've been able to serve our communities for the past 30 years, and I'm really looking forward to continuing to doing even more in the future. We live by a set of values at CarePatrol, which are trust, empathy, accountability, mentorship, unity, and passion. And we really believe that, we need to walk in the shoes of our clients and understand what it's like from their perspective. So we're just a phone call away and happy to be a support and a resource for you.
Well, happy 30th birthday.
Woo, woo, woo.
Thank you.
So, of course, as you all heard, that's a lot of information. There's a lot of context here, and we don't expect everybody to just learn it from listening to our podcast. But what we want you to do is feel comfortable in reaching out to your local CarePatrol senior advisor, because we are the experts in this industry, and you are not alone if you are with CarePatrol.
Well, Colleen and Becky, thank you so much for being here today. And I just really appreciate everything that you do. Thank you for not only empowering older adults and their caregivers, what you've done in the past, what's led you to this point, what you're doing today. And also, I can see what you're envisioning for tomorrow. So thank you so much in this beautiful journey of aging.
Thank you, Cheryl.
Thank you, Cheryl.
Listeners, visit mycareadvisors.com to hear the episode and find helpful resources. You can also subscribe and listen to our podcast on your favorite app. Choose to be inspired to live the best life every day. Thank you for listening. We are grateful to be your guide.